All right, let's get real for a second. You ever sit down to work and then just freeze? Like, you know you need to do something, but for some reason, it just feels impossible to get started. You're thinking about the assignment, the exam, or even just your to-do list, and yet you keep scrolling, keep procrastinating. I get it, but here's the thing. It's not about being lazy. It's not about you lacking discipline or motivation. There's something way more subtle going on here. Something that's quietly stopping you from getting started. Something I like to call friction. What if I told you that procrastination isn't your fault, that it's actually something you can remove today to get your momentum back? Yeah, it's not just about forcing yourself to sit down. Let's talk about how friction is secretly ruining your focus and what you can do to fix it. Okay, let's break this down. You've probably heard the whole just get started thing, right? Just sit down and do it. But here's the truth. It's not that simple. You don't lack motivation. You lack friction. Friction is anything in your environment that makes it harder to get started. It could be the mess on your desk, the random distractions on your phone, or even the overwhelming thought of an assignment that feels too big to tackle. Think about it. Have you ever opened your laptop with the best intentions to study, only to find yourself on social media 20 minutes later? That's friction. Or maybe you're trying to study for an exam, but your workspace is a mess. Papers everywhere, clutter, maybe even the dishes you need to clean. Your brain doesn't want to focus on the task at hand because it's too busy managing all that extra noise. That's friction. You see where I'm going with this? Friction isn't just something physical, it's mental too. The more friction you have, the harder it becomes to get started. Your brain feels that resistance, and when there's too much resistance, you avoid it altogether. You procrastinate. But here's the cool part. You can control it. You can reduce that friction and make it easier to get started. Let me show you how. Step 1. Eliminate the distractions. This is key. The more distractions you have, the more friction you create. Start with your phone. Put it on Do Not Disturb or leave it in another room. Sounds simple, but trust me, when your phone isn't there to tempt you, you'll be shocked at how much more focused you can get. And don't forget your workspace. Tidy it up before you start working. You don't need to have a Pinterest-perfect desk, but get rid of the unnecessary clutter. When there's less to distract you, it's easier to dive in. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, that's obvious. But what if the task itself feels too big to even start? Well, that's the next part. Step 2. Break it down into bite-sized chunks. This one is huge. So let's say you've got a massive task ahead, like writing a 10-page paper. The idea of sitting down and tackling all that at once, it's enough to make anyone want to procrastinate, right? You start thinking, ugh, 10 pages, I'm never going to finish this. And just like that, your brain freaks out, and you're stuck before you even start. Here's a hack. Don't think about the whole paper. Focus on the first paragraph. Or even better, just focus on the first sentence. Heck, even the first word. If that feels too much, start with the title. Just take that first step. When we think of tasks as huge, overwhelming projects, we naturally want to avoid them. They just feel too big to conquer. But when you break it down into something small, something that feels manageable, the pressure starts to fade. Suddenly, you're not thinking about the mountain you have to climb. You're thinking about the small step in front of you, the first sentence. And here's the thing. Once you get that first sentence down, you'll often find yourself wanting to write the next one, and the next one. Before you know it, you're halfway through the paper. Just like that. Momentum builds, and what seemed impossible becomes easy. Doesn't that feel good? The key here isn't about forcing yourself to finish. It's not about pushing yourself to complete a huge task in one go. It's about removing that friction, that mental block, and getting your brain into motion. That's where the magic happens. Once you break it down, it's easier to dive in. You're not stuck looking at a mountain anymore. You're looking at a series of small, easy steps, and each step gets you closer to the finish line. It's like this. You don't climb a mountain all at once. You take it one step at a time, and those small steps, they add up. Step 3. Set a timer. I know. It sounds like such a simple trick, right? But trust me, it works like a charm. Here's the deal. Set a timer for 10, 20, or 30 minutes, whatever feels right for you. The key here is that when you know there's an end in sight, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed by the task. Think about it. When you don't set a timer, the thought of working forever can feel paralyzing. But with a timer, your brain starts thinking, okay, I only have to focus for this short amount of time. After that, I can take a break. Suddenly, the task seems more manageable. And here's something you'll probably notice. You'll get a lot more done in that short burst than you'd expect. Why? Because without constantly thinking about how much more work you have left, you're more likely to just dive in and get focused. That's the power of removing friction. It's like you're tricking your brain into doing work, but without the resistance. When the timer goes off, take a quick break. Stretch, grab a snack, or just chill for a bit. Reset. And then when you're ready, do it again. Set another timer and go at it for another short burst. But here's a twist. What if the timer goes off and you're in the zone? You don't want to stop. Or what if you feel like taking a break, but honestly, you're still feeling good and could keep going? What then? Let's dive into that because it's a game changer. Step 4. Reward yourself for momentum. Now this one is crucial because sometimes, and I mean sometimes, once we get into a flow, it's really hard to stop. You're cruising along, working without thinking, and suddenly that timer goes off. You're like, wait, what? I don't want to stop now, I'm in the zone. And you know what? That's completely okay. If you're in that sweet spot, don't force yourself to stop. Keep going. When you're in a flow state, that's your brain working at its peak, and it's one of the best feelings ever. You should ride that wave for as long as you can. But here's where it gets tricky. When you're done with your focused work session, it's really important to take a break that feels like a reward, not an escape. That means don't just start scrolling on your phone, or worse, go into a Netflix binge. It's tempting, I know, but that's just another form of procrastination disguised as a break. Instead, use your break as a chance to recharge in a way that doesn't add friction to your productivity. Get up and stretch, take a short walk outside, or grab a healthy snack. Something that will give your brain a real reset without pulling you into a downward spiral of distractions. It's all about keeping the momentum going. You've built up that forward motion, and now you just need to keep it flowing. A real break is about refreshing your energy, not escaping the work. Remember, friction is the silent killer of your productivity. It's the invisible force that stops you from starting. The clutter on your desk, the distractions around you, even the little voice in your head telling you it's too hard. That's friction. But if you reduce the friction in your environment, you'll start to see a huge shift. You'll realize that it's not about trying harder or pushing yourself more. It's about making things easier. Remove the friction, and it will be so much easier to start and keep going. So, here's your challenge. Take a look at your space today. What's creating friction for you? Is it your phone? Is it the mess? Or is it the way you're thinking about your tasks? Try removing a little bit of friction tonight. Clean your desk, set a timer, and break that big task down into something small. Just start with one thing. Let's level up together. You've got this. And remember, the less friction, the easier it is to get started. So let's make procrastination a thing of the past.